Roxo Media House.
From the Flying T studio at Roxo Media House, this is Frogs Today, featuring special guest, men's head golf coach Bill Montigel, and TCU defensive end turned Fort Worth police officer Joe Hill. And we'll also hear from our roundtable of experts. And here's your host, Brian Estridge.
Episode number 11 right now of Frogs Today begins. Welcome into the Flying T Club studios. I'm Brian Estridge. A little casual this week because, there it is, it's Colonial Week. That's right, the Charles Schwab Invitational going on as we've got Tom Hoagie, we've got Paul Barjan, both representing the Horned Frogs in the field this week. I hope you get a chance to get out to Colonial Country Club for that and enjoy the beautiful weather we're going to have. We got a lot going on still as the semester winds its way down. Obviously, the Big 12 baseball tournament is in Arlington at Globe Life this weekend. The Horned Frogs going as the number 1 seed. 11 guys off of Kirk Sarlos' team named all-conference in some shape, form, or fashion. They go in as the number 1 seed, as we mentioned. Let's see if Kirk's team can continue to roll, ready to host a regional here in Fort Worth here in a week or so. Women's golf finished things up out in Arizona after a great run for Angie Larkin's team. And, of course, we're right in the heat of recruiting for a bunch of teams right now as coaches hit the road trying to find the next generation of TCU athletes. So we got a lot to do today, kind of catch up on where things are right now. Bill Montigel, the head men's golf coach, is going to stop by. They had a chance to wrap up their season. We'll check in with the patriarch of TCU athletics. He's the longest tenured head coach here in Fort Worth. He'll stop by and visit with us a little bit later on. And our Where Are They Now? He's one of Fort Worth's finest. His name is Joe Hill, former Frog defensive lineman. He's going to join us here shortly. Got our round table of experts we got to get into. Oh, and we might have a little fun along the way as well. You want to stick around for that. But first, we start the day in the newsroom to find out everything going on around the world of TCU athletics. And for that, we turn to Maggie Hall. Maggie.
Hey Frog fans, thanks for sending it over here, Brian, but might have noticed the change of scenery. We're out here at Globe Life Field this week instead of our normal Frogs Today studio. The baseball team has been here since Tuesday. They battled it out and won against Baylor Wednesday. And right now behind me, as you can see, they're battling it out with Texas. We hope to see our Frogs playing for the rest of the weekend, but that's all we have for you here in Arlington. Brian?
Back we come on Frogs Today. It's our Where Are They Now segment for the week, and we got one of the good guys in all the world joining us here. And he wanted to stand up to make me look smaller. Joe Hill, former TCU football player, is with us right now. How you doing, man?
Wonderful, sir. How about yourself?
Good to see you. I want to dive right into a couple of different things. You had the, I'm going to call it luxury, to play for 3 different head coaches. You had Pat Sullivan, Dennis Franchione, Gary Patterson. That transition was not always easy, was it?
It never is.
Yeah.
I never wanted to see Pat Sullivan leave.
Yeah.
It's one of the big reasons why I came there. Playing for the legend, the Heisman Trophy winner, and he was such a charismatic guy. We wanted to play hard for him. We wanted to do well. Unfortunately, it just wasn't in the cards.
Right.
Everything happens for a reason. So then Dennis Franchione comes in. Totally different guy. Right? Business. Hey, we're going to get out here, get after it. We're going to hammer away. People are going to do things the right way.
Right.
We're going to win ball games, and we did.
Yeah. But that was a tough adjustment.
That was a very tough adjustment.
I remember that at the time.
anytime you play for a different head coach, at some point in time, you told that guy no.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Because he came out, he recruited you. All these guys are going after the same group of pool of talent, right? So I told this guy no before, and now I got to go try to play for him and start for him.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he's holding that grudge or what. And everybody's thinking the same thing, man. How's he going to treat us? What is he going to do? And the first thing he did is he got rid of our best player.
Yeah.
To send a message to, hey, look, I don't care who you are, what you do, what kind of player you are, you're not bigger than this program.
Right.
So once he got our attention with that move, it was all by.
Did you buy in at that point?
Oh, absolutely. Everybody did.
But at first it was hard to.
Oh, absolutely. Because again, you told him no before, so something he said or some part of his coaching philosophy you didn't agree with and necessarily jive with.
Sure. Or the school or whatever.
Or the school, the process, whatever.
So, and you also went through a position change.
Several times.
Several times. And those aren't easy either.
No.
But did you feel like you finally settled in at some point? Did you ever feel comfortable?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So I came in as a running back, but then I came in on day 3.
Right.
LT already had a head start on me. He was still LT.
Right.
Plus we had Basil Mitchell, you had Charles Jones, a whole stable full of running backs. So they said, hey, let's try tight end. So I said, okay, cool. No, they put me in linebacker first.
I remember that. Okay.
So I go to linebacker and I'm playing, and they were just, let's try him at tight end. So 4 days later, I go to tight end. Stayed at tight end for 2 years. Then at some point, Coach Patterson said, hey, why don't you come play defense for me? We needed a backup for Aaron Schobel. So I said, okay, I'll do what y'all want me to do. I fight where you tell me to fight. And moved to defensive end and just kind of found a home there.
I was going to say, looking back on it now, wouldn't you say that's your natural position?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if I'd had a couple more years and some fine tuning, could have probably made some noise. But
I think so. I think,
played my role.
Yeah.
I was happy.
Did you? And I don't know the answer to this. And you and I have been friends for a long time. Did you, after college was over, did you try to pursue a professional career?
I knew I wanted to. I think you have to be a realist when you play Division I sports. Like you have to know what your capabilities are.
Yeah.
My body was starting to break down.
Was it?
I was, the injuries were starting to catch up with me and everything. And we talked before the show started about the concussion thing.
Right.
So I wanted to have a little bit of cheese left on my cracker.
Right.
So, nah, that wasn't in the cards for me.
Was there a game that stands out to you in your career? Was there one that still stands out to this day that you look back on?
Yes, the Navy game.
Yeah.
The Navy game with the flyover.
Oh, that was awesome. Yes.
Yeah, that game and the San Jose game. You know what I mean? Like one was the pinnacle. It was like a great game for me, and the other one was like it taught us a lot.
Yeah.
How to be humble, how to stay poised, how to lose, and because we were number 5 in the country at that point.
We were rolling.
Ready for the Fiesta Bowl to come in town to give us the bowl invite, and we got knocked on our butts.
Do you remember the emotion that San Jose had in that game? Remember they had a player.
They had a player who had lost his leg in a car accident. It was their homecoming. They brought him out right before the game started.
And at that point, I went, man, this is going to be
rough.
Day. Yeah.
Right.
And, kudos to them.
Absolutely. 100%.
Kudos to those guys for responding the way they did.
They did, yeah.
What about the bowl games? I mean, any of those stand out to you?
The games, I don't remember much about the games. Because we won 2, we lost 2.
Right.
I remember the things that we did, hanging out with my teammates.
Right.
And us going to the casino for one.
Yeah.
Coach Fran said, upperclassmen, y'all get to go to the casino.
Was that the Beau Rivage or something?
It was.
Yeah, the Beau Rivage. I remember that.
So that was like, wow, man, we rolled behind the cotton on this thing.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
I remember that well. So, Joe, you leave TCU. And how quickly did you join the Fort Worth Police Force?
Probably, so while I was at TCU, Ron Lewis, who's the director of TCU, so he's the director of Tarrant County Juvenile Services. He also played football at TCU.
Right.
Excuse me. He gave us a job, and when we graduated, he gave me a full-time position.
Yeah.
So I worked there for a couple of years, and then I applied for the police department, and I guess in 2003, a year after college, I joined the department.
And you've been with them ever since?
Ever since. We're 19 years in August.
How about that?
Yep.
You've seen a lot. You've seen a lot of good.
Seen a lot of good.
Seen some bad.
Seen a bunch of bad.
Yeah, you've seen a bunch of bad. But is it still rewarding?
Absolutely.
To go out there every day?
Absolutely. Anytime you can. So I work in narcotics now, so we get complaints all the time as far as like there's drug activity over here, there's criminal activity going on here. And anytime you can get that complaint, and I'm new to this position, and anytime you can get that complaint and then you go out there and you address it and you make an arrest or you get the person to stop doing what they're doing, whatever nefarious activity it is, and then the neighbor who sees you out there says, hey, thank you for what you do, we appreciate it, we've been having problems over here, their quality of life has just sucked the whole time, and you can help them out with that. get a great.
I was going to say that's all you need. And
Absolutely,
that's bigger than a paycheck.
Yeah.
To hear that.
Absolutely.
Tell me this, I hate to get off on a serious note, but I do want to get on the fentanyl problem that we keep hearing about.
It's real.
How bad is it?
It's a real thing. It's destroying lives. It's just not. It's devastating. Yeah. It really is. It's affecting officers as far as you're walking up on the streets, you're going to a car, you're not knowing what you're encountering, and officers are passing out.
Right.
I mean, it's causing overdoses in public places. It's just a bad deal.
Yeah, we got to keep our eye open.
Absolutely.
What's the future? You want to keep doing this for a while?
Yeah, I have 6 years till I'm eligible for retirement.
Yeah.
And then I'll
retirement? You're not old enough to retire, man. I saw you play.
Nah, I'm ready to start devoting my time to what I really love.
Yeah.
Watching my kids play ball and playing video games.
Daughter's a really good softball player.
She's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah, she'll play somewhere. She'll follow in your shoes. So, hey, I really appreciate you taking the time.
I appreciate you having me.
Here's my thing. In addition to thanking you for coming on the show, I want to thank you for your service, man.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thanks for all you do for the city of Fort Worth. You filling in that gap for all of us. You guys stand in where we can't. We sure appreciate it, man.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Joe Hill, one of the good guys here at TCU football. More still to come, including our headliner, Bill Montigel, joins us next when Frogs Today continues in a moment.
Criminals, killers. These stories of crime and punishment in the 21st century Western society, as told through the lens of retired Fort Worth Vice Cop Jake White and investigative journalist John Henry.
Catch a new episode every Saturday anywhere you get your podcasts or at signal51chronicles.com. Signal 51 Chronicles is a Roxo Media House production.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
FrogsToday.com is the ultimate TCU sports fan community. Members enjoy exclusive content from inside the locker room, feature presentations, access to athletes, coaches, and alumni that are making headlines, and a live show featuring Brian Estridge. Join us and an interactive sports community full of Horned Frog fans now at FrogsToday.com. Frogs Today is a Roxo Media House production.
Back we come on Frogs Today. Welcome in and time in for our headliner right now as we welcome in one of the legends of TCU athletics. In fact, he is the patriarch, I guess is the best way to put it, for TCU athletics, the head golf coach at TCU. Bill Montigel, come on in, Coach.
Ryan, you're very kind.
You're the best, man.
How are you?
I'm good. Have a seat.
All right, thanks.
I think I've got the numbers right here. 44 years you've been on campus. Is that right?
I came in '79. That's right.
Is that right? It's about 40. Wow, it's been a while. So what was it like when it was all gravel roads back then?
Well, it's actually a lot different. I remember when we'd drive down University to TCU. I mean, there's absolutely nothing on the street.
Right.
There was a car dealership or something there. So it's changed a lot.
You got here as a basketball coach. I don't know if folks know that. You were on Jim Killer Killingsworth's staff and had great success. I mean, that was a real good time for TCU basketball, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, absolutely. When Killer got the job, they actually weren't very good in the beginning. But by the time he left, we qualified and went to the NCAA tournament. Played Marshall in the first round and lost to Notre Dame. But yeah, we won the conference a couple of years, and working with Killer was the best. He was awesome.
Yeah, and here's the thing that Coach Montigel has had a ton of success. We all know that in golf. But you're also the guy that claimed to fame is you recruited Jamie Dixon to come to TCU. That's a feather in the cap as well.
Yeah, I was out in California recruiting at kind of a summer league game, and there was this kind of small, thin kid that could shoot it and just dives on the floor. And I said, God, this guy'd be perfect for Killer. And we got him in here to visit, and he came, and it worked out great for him.
What was that recruiting like? I mean, were there other schools that were in on Coach at the time?
To be honest with you, there weren't very many other schools on him, and it was one of those deals where, at the time we really needed another guard. Actually, we signed him, and we signed Scotty Brooks, who was here for a little bit. But yeah, he wasn't really heavily recruited. We were working on a couple other guys and lost them, and we got Jamie, and it worked out so good. Carvin Holcomb came in that same year.
Pretty good class.
Yeah, no doubt.
By the way, those two guys, Scotty Brooks and Jamie Dixon, turned out to be pretty good coaches too.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, they learned it all from you guys, man. So you then you transitioned to the golf world. What was that transition like originally for you?
Well, it was quite interesting because when I first got the job, I was really into playing golf. And I kind of thought that if I got the golf job, that I could practice every single day.
Right.
And then I realized that that was kind of the last thing that you do. You know, you're like any other coach. You know, the coaches at TCU that play tennis aren't playing tennis every day, or the swimming coaches and swimming every day. So I started realizing that most of my energy started going into recruiting and spending time with the kids and traveling and getting a schedule and, you know, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And it has worked out now. You look over your history, Coach. I got the numbers from Stephen Schoen, the PR guy for golf. 35th year as a head coach, 20 NCAA tournaments. You finished top 12 7 times in those, 16 All-Americans. What a track record. Did you imagine that at all when you began?
I really didn't know what I was going to do when I got the job. I mean, I didn't have a job, so I felt like this was going to be a fun opportunity.
Right.
I'm very appreciative back in the day when Frank Wendiger offered me the job and I got it. But I really didn't have any expectations at all. We've been very fortunate through the years to sign a lot of really good players. You know, we've had guys like J.J. Henry, who've been on the PGA Tour, and guys like Tom Hoagie that are on the tour, won a tournament this year out at Pebble Beach, getting the opportunity to play at Colonial, and then Paul Barjon just got his tour card. So we've had good players, and you know that's obviously helps a lot.
Yeah, you think about the 16 All-Americans. That says a little bit right there. One of the things that Frank Wendiger has always said I remember asking him, how did you decide on Bill Montigel? And he said, well, I knew he could recruit, and if you can recruit, that's half the battle. And he said, I knew he liked golf, I knew he played golf, but I knew that he would understand the psychology of dealing with student athletes in golf. That does take up a little bit of time, doesn't it?
Well, that's one thing I've always been pretty good at, I feel like, is being able to kind of be around kids, and they're all so different. And, you know, one guy is one way and another guy's completely different, is kind of trying to figure out what makes them click. And, you know, some guys you can kind of get on them and, you know, get after them and they'll play better. And other guys, they don't respond to that very good. So you just got to kind of figure out what's going to be good for each particular guy.
How's the college golf game changed over the last 35 years?
Well, it's actually incredible how good these guys are. And every school has got really good players. And, you know, back in the day, there was probably, you know, 20 schools, 15 schools that would have a legit chance of winning winning the NCAA. Now, I mean, honestly, there's about 60 schools. If you can just get to the finals, you got a chance. But the kids are longer, they're straighter. They all work out now. They got workout programs where they're, you know, more fit. Most of these kids have got their own swing teachers that, you know, they work with. So yeah, it's changed a lot.
Yeah, but it's changed for the better.
Oh, absolutely.
How about the transfer portal and the NIL? Has that started to affect college golf at all?
Well, you know, I actually really like the transfer portal. You know, unfortunately, we did lose one of our guys to it, but I think as time goes on, we'll end up getting more kids coming in than we will have leaving. And but the transfer portal is there, and NIL is slowly but surely coming into effect. We'd like to use the NIL a little differently. We'd like to have something that if they come to TCU, they play really good, that they'll have the opportunity when they leave that somebody can kind of help them to try to sponsor them on the PGA
Tour.
That
idea. Yeah.
Versus when you come here and you give a kid as a freshman, whatever it is, $10,000, $100,000.
Right.
Are they really going to use that money wisely? But if you give it to them at the end, work hard, you know, we'll try to have a little something for you at the end.
I like that because that's half the struggle with trying to get on the tour, right?
Absolutely.
It's finding sponsors.
Most of these kids don't really have sponsors at the end. But so if you had a little something for them, if they played well in college, you know, kind of dangle that there for them. Like, play good in college.
Yep.
You know, help the team, help yourself, and then we'll try to help you a little bit.
You think about the advantages here at TCU as well for you. Obviously, in the Metroplex is one big advantage, but you get to play Colonial, you get to play Shady, you get access to some really good golf courses.
That's one of the things that's really made the job great is the country club pros have reached out to us, and we've reached out to them, and we have incredible golf courses to play, and we have a different course each day. And I'm going to kind of go through those because I think it's quite interesting.
Yeah.
But on Mondays, every Monday we use the Ridgely Golf Course.
Okay.
Every Tuesday we use Mira Vista.
Okay.
Every Wednesday we use Colonial. Every Thursday we use Shady Oaks. And every Friday we use Rivercrest. And then on Saturday mornings we get the kids up early and we go play Rockwood. So the kids have incredible opportunities every single day to play on different golf courses, different greens. And J.J. Henry has been quoted as saying he thinks that's what helped him get on the tour, is that I got to play different grasses, different greens, you know, different everything to kind of get ready for the PGA Tour. So we feel like that really helps us.
Couple that with the fact that you have Colonial, the tournament, the Charles Schwab Invitational here in town. That's a big deal.
Absolutely.
And I think that's also a recruiting advantage. You have the Ben Hogan Award, which is a college golf Heisman, which is here in Fort Worth.
Absolutely.
I mean, that makes it all that more inviting, doesn't it?
Yeah, all that really helps us. But also at Colonial, we have a collegiate tournament. And
I'm glad you brought that up.
Could be considered, or is considered, probably the strongest field in college golf from all the best teams in the country, from the Oklahoma States, Texas, Oklahoma, Stanford, USC, and then you can kind of go back to Florida and Wake Forest. I mean, it's incredible the teams that are coming in for that tournament.
October.
It's usually right around October the 1st.
I think it's October 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like
and it's open to the public.
Yeah.
It's free. Anybody can come out there and watch it.
Yeah.
And it's an incredible opportunity for people to watch the future stars of the PGA Tour.
Yeah, it's just going to get bigger too, I feel like.
No question.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. Always a pleasure, my man.
Thank you
Good to
very
see
much.
you.
I appreciate you having me on.
You're the best. You know that. The patriarch of TCU Athletics, whose son, by the way, is a pretty good basketball coach as well, Thomas Montigel, does a terrific job. Great administrator. He's going to be an AD one day, don't you think?
I think he'd be great at it.
Do you think he'll hire us? Can you work on
I'll
that?
probably be the first guy he fires.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Bill Montigel, head golf coach here at TCU. More to come, including our roundtable of experts. They join us next after this time.
Hi, this is longtime Fort Worth Star-Telegram journalist Mac Engel, and I'm inviting you to join me for the Engel Angle podcast bi-monthly on Wednesdays with guests from the world of sports, entertainment, and general interest. I'll bring you my unique perspective and an entertaining spin to every episode. Listen anywhere you get your podcasts or at engelangle.com. That's ENGELANGLE.com. The Engel Angle is a Roxo Media House production.
Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richard's Rainwater. Richard's Rainwater is 100% rain, refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water. Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet. Shop now at richardsrainwater.com.
The Flying T Club provides the everyday TCU fan and alum the ability to specifically support TCU student athletes. Flying T Club offers 3 levels of memberships. The Flying T Club is a nonprofit organization supporting the brand development of TCU student athletes through a series of unique event-based networking opportunities, which are exclusive to our members. These events provide a great social engagement tool for our members and student athletes alike. Follow them on Instagram at Flying T Club or online at flyingtclub.com.
FrogsToday.com is the ultimate TCU sports fan community. Members enjoy exclusive content from inside the locker room, feature presentations, access to athletes, coaches, and alumni that are making headlines, and a live show featuring Brian Estridge. Join us and an interactive sports community full of Horned Frog fans now at FrogsToday.com. Frogs Today is a Roxo Media House production.
Roundtable of experts now here in the Flying T Club studios, and we welcome our old friend Jamie Plunkett from frogstoday.com with us, and newcomer Jeff Williams, the voice of TCU baseball, kind enough to stop by, and TCU women's basketball as well, and whatever else we can find for him. He kind enough to join us. We got a lot. I wanted to spend some baseball time we got the Big 12 tournament in this weekend. Obviously, Frogs #1 seed, Jamie. I guess we can say, based on the preseason polls, that they exceeded expectations this year, regular season-wise.
Well, I think you'd have to say that. Anytime you have a coaching transition like TCU did, even if you're hiring someone in-house, the questions are going to start to bubble to the top about what's this team going to look like, how are they going to perform, is anybody transferring out, all of those kind of normal questions with the coaching change. And I think Kirk Saarloos did an incredible job of keeping the culture the way it has been over the last 20 years, keeping the trajectory of the team going on the right track. And, I sat down with Connor Wanhanen earlier this week to record an episode of my podcast, and he said that choice of getting Saarloos in was so critical to keeping the culture right at TCU, and that's why we've seen the success we've seen this year.
By the way, that podcast is Talking
Frogs. You can find it on YouTube and on Spotify.
Yeah. Frogstoday.com, just a little pub there for Jamie's podcast. All right, so Jeff, you're around him every day. Or at least there most of the days. You saw Kirk Saarloos at work as a head coach. That transition seemed fairly easy. What did you notice?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's been here long enough, so the culture was also already in him. He wasn't a guy that showed up a couple of years ago. He's been here for a decade.
Yeah.
So really for him, he already knew the kids. He knew the culture. It was a matter of finding himself as a head coach.
Right.
And learning how he wants, When am I going to go out there and pull this kid? A lot of things we saw with the previous regime, it was ride or die with these 8 position players.
Yeah.
Not so much with him. He stuck with a lot of his guys, but he had to learn how he wanted to work things.
Yeah. Do you like his game day administration?
Yes.
You like how he handled things?
Yeah, I do. It's a very calming. At the same time, though, I don't know if I've seen a coach launch out of a dugout as quickly as he does, which I think is beneficial when there's a bad caller to defend his kids.
Yeah.
Which I think is a good thing. That plays well with his guys.
Yeah, he does do that. You can tell that already. It also seems as if, we've talked before about him being a player's coach, that these guys want to play for him.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's a sign when a new coach comes in, especially if it's an in-house guy, and I think only one guy transferred out, right? These guys love Kirk Saarloos. You saw how many guys showed up for his introductory press conference, and you saw how many seniors came back and used their COVID year this year to come back, even though some of them are just role players and not everyday starters. That in and of itself says a lot about the character of Kirk Saarloos. And I, just having watched him this year and how he operates, kind of like what Jeff said, his demeanor in game, I don't think TCU could have gone with a better choice than Kirk Saarloos.
All right, number 1 seed, yet you look at and you had 11 guys who were recognized at some point. But were there enough Frogs on the first team list, all conference? There could have been a couple more.
You've got every team's got 3 or 4 guys that put up monster numbers.
Right.
So it's generally going to be 3 or 4 guys from the top 3 or 4 teams. You got your Texas, you got your Tech, your Oklahoma State. You got 4 really good teams, and they've got guys that have monster numbers. You got to spread it around a little bit. You can make an argument in a different league maybe, but.
Was there anyone left off that you just thought was egregious that you went, oh, man, how does he not make it?
Not really, honestly. I think Tommy Sacco and Luke Savage making the first team was really deserved for both of them. I think you could have made a case maybe for Braden Taylor getting onto that first team, but Jace Young had such a good year for Texas Tech at third base that you can't really argue against Braden being on the second team. But I think the big one, though, Kirk Saarloos, first guy ever. Coach of the year, first year as head coach, Big 12 regular title.
Yeah.
It doesn't get better.
That goes back to what you guys were talking about, the transition and how easy it was and how easy he made it, or made it look at least.
It was a runaway until the end of the year with, I guess, Skip Johnson at Oklahoma because of the run they made.
Right.
The only guy that was even in the discussion,
right.
quite honestly.
Speaking of momentum, you got to say, won 7 in a row coming into this tournament, that TCU is going into the league or into the championship with the momentum. Wouldn't you say that?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You go through some of the stretches that TCU went through this year, and you see the resiliency of this team, their ability to bounce back, stay even keel, not get too high, not get too low, and to finish out 7-game winning streak. Now the 1 seed coming into the Big 12 tournament, you can't ask for much more than that.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Will they host?
Right now, if as we sit here today,
I
think they're on the outside looking in, but it's just a little bit of a peek over that direction.
Right.
If they can get to the championship game of the conference tournament, I think it's a no-brainer.
What's killing them? The RPI? Is that coming into play as far as not hosting?
Sure. A little bit. It's not where you want it to be.
Yeah.
But 34 isn't that great. But you won the outright Big 12 title regular season. Make a tournament run.
Yeah.
I think they're on the inside looking out currently, but for a lower seed, not a national seed.
All right. We got more from Frogs today coming up after this timeout.
Sports Bites on Frogs Today. We head to Globe Life Field, where some of the best chefs in the country traded their fancy white chef's hats for good old Rangers caps. There's something to keep everyone in your crew happy, from the barbecue critic to the vegan. And we're here to try it all.
Frogs Today on location right here at Globe Life Field. And a lot of happy people here coming for the baseball. Some people coming for the food, including us. I dragged along Jeff Wilson and Jamie Plunkett, and we like the nachos, we like the boomstick, but we're going to try some of the best dishes right here at Globe Life Field. So let's get into it.
Okay, so you don't have to be in a suite to enjoy one of these amazing dishes. But they offered. So here we are in one of Globe Life Field's beautiful suites. They have over 100 of these and can accommodate up to 120 guests with full service.
Okay, I managed to let the Rangers put us in one of these gorgeous, gorgeous suites at Globe Life Field. And I've also tracked down a pretty important guy who's cooked some incredible food for us today. We're about to dig into this, but chef, let me say this correctly, executive sous chef
Yes, ma'am.
for Delaware North, is that right?
That is right.
Okay, and you guys do the food and beverage and merchandise for all of Globe
Yes, we
Life
do
Field.
all food, beverage, and retail in the building.
Now, this is your 11th year,
Yep.
and before this you did fine dining.
I did. I came up through the Dallas scene, did a lot of the fancy restaurants in downtown Dallas and then in Fort Worth, and then settled into the ballpark about 11 years ago and seemed to like it because I've been here for a while.
Okay, how do you go from, placing, I don't know, saffron with a tweezer to like corn dogs? Talk about that.
It's not that big of a jump. I mean, it's all food service. It's all about the presentation. It's all about the quality of the food and just putting out the best we can at all times.
All right, with that, let's jump into it. What do we have here?
This here is our Nolan Ryan chicken fried brisket sandwich. We slow smoke our brisket 12 to 15 hours depending on the size of them. Cool them, slice them, bread it, chicken fry, serve it up with your basic barbecue condiments on there. It's got barbecue sauce, a little white onion, jalapeno, and pickles.
So do you live here? Are you camped out in the back with a smoker?
I stay here pretty often.
Do you
I don't pull all-nighters, but we spend quite a bit of time here.
Well, it looks incredible. Let's see what the guys think.
All right.
I like when food has a good crunch to it. But it's not so hard that I feel like I'm going to break the tooth.
I like when food has a good taste to it, Jamie.
Okay, well that's fair.
This is really good. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. I mean, I'm not some foodie. I know I can't describe everything, but it's just good.
Not too spicy. I'm a fan of big spice, but
yeah,
for the casual person, that's at a good level.
Yeah, I don't know anybody who wouldn't like this. I really don't. Well, if you gotta rate on like a scale of 10, I'd give it a 10. I mean, I'm just really digging this. I really like it. I mean, I don't know if you would take marks away because your fingers are messy, but that's stupid.
You're at the ballpark,
right? You got napkins.
There's like an
There's
expectation that you're going to get a little messy when you're eating ballpark food, right? Yeah, I'm up there with you. I think like 9.5.
Okay.
I'm hesitant to give a perfect 10 to anything.
Well, I'm not.
Because I haven't sampled everything yet. But I'm probably going to come back and say that everything was a 10.
Okay, chef, we all know we can get a hot dog, we can get a burger. What about the vegan?
Well, actually, Texas baseball has been voted the #1 vegan ballpark 3 out of the last 4 years
in the
MLB.
country?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
We have a dedicated vegan stand in section 101 on the first concourse, and it cranks out quite a bit.
I bet. So this is, what is
This here is our new vegan chicken salad sandwich. It's made with a plant-based chicken product. Also got red grapes, almonds, celery, onions, and a vegan mayonnaise.
What is in a vegan mayonnaise?
It's just made without the eggs. It uses a different emulsifier.
Okay, now would this fool a chicken eater?
I think it would. The flavor is definitely there.
Okay, well let's put it to the test.
All
Let's
right.
see what the guys think.
All right.
All right, I see the tomatoes and the lettuce. See the red grapes. Let's see what this vegan chicken is all about.
It's fine.
I'm going to be honest with you, Jeff. I don't think I got any chicken in my first bite.
I didn't know what to expect. Never had fake meat. No boy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a chicken salad sandwich. I like grapes in my chicken salad, so that was a win. I am a big tomato guy, so I love tomatoes, and happy to see those on here. This is something that, even though I'm not a vegan, this is something that I would consider.
I mean, I'm probably going to go like a 6, just because I'm not vegan.
If the chicken fried brisket sandwich was a home run, I would call this a nice, in the gap double.
All right, well, this would not be a complete day without a corn dog, but you've stepped it up. What is this thing?
Taking it to another level a little bit here. This is our alligator andouille sausage corn dog.
What?
An alligator andouille sausage corn dog. So it's a pork and alligator sausage with andouille spices as your typical andouille sausage would be. Then we batter it, fry it, serve it with a Creole mustard.
So we went from vegan to
exotic.
R.I.P. a pig and a gator.
Definitely.
There's something for everyone.
Definitely.
Come for the baseball, or come for the food, stay for the baseball.
Yeah, definitely come for the food.
Come for the food, for sure. All right, well, let's see what these guys think.
All right.
It's a good gator.
That is good gator.
Yeah, no, this is good. I don't know what alligator tastes like. So whatever it does taste like, it's not detracting from the sausage and all that jazz.
Right now, for me, the brisket sandwich is Nelson Cruz 3-run home run against the Tigers in the ALCS.
Oh man! All
right, like ripping one down the left field line to win the ball game.
Okay.
This one is
pretty dramatic.
I think Corey Seager hitting his second home run the other day, puts the Rangers ahead.
All right.
Helps keep them ahead. Is
Okay.
Not just an average home run. I mean, there's no boring home run, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But less.
I understand.
Yeah. Okay.
This guy, I don't even know what to say. But no, okay. First of all, you solicited Rangers fans for ideas for new food
Yes,
items.
this is one that we can't take all the credit for on the idea side of things. In 2019, we took some ideas from fans, and this is the one that went out, the brisket egg roll.
What is a brisket egg roll?
Well, what I've done with it is we've taken our 12-hour smoked brisket, chopped it up with a little barbecue sauce and some Napa cabbage to give it more of that traditional egg roll type feel to it when you eat it. Served with a little barbecue sauce over the top, it's a big hit. People are loving it.
There's a lot of smoking going on.
There definitely is. We are actually smoking 72 briskets a night, burning through about 1,000 pounds of brisket a day.
How much wood, charcoal? I mean, that's a lot.
Quite a bit. It never stops. We're constantly moving on that brisket.
Wow. Okay. Well, this looks amazing. I might try to sneak a bite of this guy. But let's see what Jeff and Jamie think.
All right.
So this is a popular item in the press box.
Okay.
I've not had one myself, but riders are routinely flocking to the third level fried stand and getting these. So
it's got that uniqueness to it, kind of like the alligator corn dog, where it's probably not something that you see everywhere, so you're intrigued by it, and then to bite into it and have it be really good, I think is just an ultimate plus.
All right, so we'll call this, let's say, a 3-run homer.
For sure.
I would call the sausage a 3-run homer.
Yeah.
And I would call the vegan thing a triple with a throwing error.
Sure.
That allows the runner to score.
Okay.
All right, is that fair?
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. I think that's totally
Ballpark Foods advanced from nachos and hot dogs. So basically, everything's a winner here.
Yeah, you can't go wrong.
Yeah.
And depending on dietary needs and everything, I think we've seen at this point too that they run the gamut. So no matter what you need, there's an option for you here.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
For sure.
Very inclusive.
For sure.
Cheers, y'all.
With a summer full of games, there is no losing. Come for the food. Stay for the baseball. Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Richard's Rainwater. Richard's Rainwater is 100% rain, refreshing, renewable, and the only ingredient we use in our water. Why rain? Because everyone deserves access to clean water, and rain is a 100% renewable resource available everywhere. Drink the rain. Save the planet. Shop now at richardsrainwater.com.
Back in with our expert roundtable here on Frogs Today. All right, a couple more things real quick before we get out of here, guys. I know I'm loading you up here today, but I want to get our money's worth. Let's talk about this first. Let's talk football recruiting. People think, it's a downtime right now, a little bit dead time, but every once in a while I'll see you tweeting something out at frogstoday.com that Frogs have picked up another commitment or they've run across another guy. Give me some sense of what's happening there.
The 2023 class is starting to come together pretty nicely for this time of year. They've got 6 commits right now. Based on the ratings, 24/7 composite, they've got the 27th best class for 2023, which I think if you're talking about a coaching staff that's in their first true year of recruiting, that's not bad.
Right.
And they got 2 really good guys this week. They got a kid out of South Oak Cliff, an offensive lineman, who's about 360 pounds as a 17-year-old kid, and then a defensive lineman, Zachary Chapman, just committed earlier this week, who's out of Fort Bend.
Okay.
And so, they're bringing in really good guys. I think if you look at the recruiting that they did this spring, you were out at the spring practices. You saw dozens and dozens and dozens of recruits at every single spring practice. There were probably over 1,000 kids at the spring game standing on the sideline. They've got this huge camp coming up first weekend in June where I've been told they've got over 2,000 recruits coming that are registered right now. They're expecting about 3,500. And so the coaching staff is doing a great job, and the class is coming together really nicely.
All right, good deal. Basketball question real quick. Damian Baugh says he's, taking a look at the NBA. He's going to let this thing sort of play out. Our friend Drew Davis from the Star-Telegram wrote as if it was a done deal.
Right.
I don't get that sense. Do you?
Yeah, Damian's and it would be a tough thing because he's a fan favorite, one of the most freakish athletes I think I've seen come out there. But he brings a certain energy. Yeah, he turned the ball over a little bit, but he was more of a plus guy than a negative by far. And just the ability to keep everybody together. Who can say that in this day and age? Would be an unbelievable situation. If you lose one, still pretty unbelievable.
Right.
I got to think maybe at the end, the heart tug a little bit. Those are his guys, and they went to battle last year, and there is some unfinished business.
I think so. I think he comes back. I really do. Sorry, I didn't mean to bust Drew Davis's bubble with that, but I just think it was. All right, final question. You're on the spot here, and I didn't prepare these guys for this, so you're really on the spot. In fact, I'll give you 15 seconds to think about it.
Okay.
Who wins the Charles Schwab Invitational this weekend in Fort Worth? And you can't ask me who's in the field because I'm not going to run through that. So I'm stalling for you. I'm giving you some time to come up with a name. All right. The first one with a name, you can raise your hand. Jeff, you got a name?
I got two names.
Two names.
Sorry, I'll take one. You can take the other.
Okay. Who you got?
You got JT, who won the PGA last year,
Thomas,
and Jordan Spieth.
Jordan Spieth. All right, that's good. Who are you going with?
Bryson DeChambeau missed the PGA Championship last week with an injury, so he said he was going to play this week. I think he's a little upset that he didn't get to play last weekend, and I think he comes out on fire this weekend.
I like it. I'm going Colin Morikawa.
Nice.
I'm going to go with that one. All right. Been a great show here today on Frogs Today. Thanks to Joe Hill. Thanks to Bill Montigel for stopping by. Thanks to our two experts, Jamie Plunkett. You can follow him at frogstoday.com. Jeff Williams, of course, you'll hear him calling the TCU baseball games this weekend as part of the Big 12 Championship. As always, we encourage you to go to Frogs Today. Hit that login button. We want you to become part of our family. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And always email us if you'd like to be a partner. We'd love to have you with us here on Frogs Today. Until we talk to you next week, have yourself a great week. Go Frogs. Thank you.
Frogs Today is brought to you by the Flying Tea Club, supporting TCU student athletes, and by Richard's Rainwater. Say hello to the water of tomorrow. Frogs Today is a production of Roxo Media House. Roxo Media House.